You're still watching TVC's daily countdown to the forthcoming general elections here in Nigeria, and we are looking at election issues. We just finished looking at the distribution of the PVC in some states, particularly in your state. And now moving on, just some days ago, we had at the Federal High Court that ruled, said it never directed the Young Democratic Party to go and pressurize INEC to include its name in the ballot paper or postpone the election for that matter. And the court is threatening to drag Young Democratic Party to court or treat that party for contempt of the court. Jide, here we are again, the new party trying to pressurize INEC to postpone the election again, but the court has spoken.
Yes, the judge is very, very embarrassed, Justice Ahmed Mohammed, that the court merely told INEC to register Young Democratic Party. He didn't say that the party should be included on the ballot for these elections. I've heard all kinds of things that, oh, the enemies of Nigeria, they decided to use this judge and they decided to use the party. You know, I always say I don't like conspiracy theories. I'm happy that the court has spoken now, that he didn't give that order. So, you know, we journalists, some of the small cases that people take to court, we don't bother to cover. This is an example of one of such cases. So they just went, addressed the press.
That this is what the court said.
And lied to the press. They had the press conference on March 5, the day after the judgment.
And the press now lied.
And now lied to the press that, look, the court has said that INEC must include us on the ballot. So, and they started issuing threats and saying, look, if INEC should either postpone the election or put us on the, go and reprint the ballot papers and put us on the ballot. So now that what the judge is saying is, okay, on March 23, he wants to see that the lawyer must produce those guys. And I will expect that the judge will let down his fury on those guys and convict them for contempt. Because, look, they brought the court to disrepute. So having brought the court to disrepute, they've caused the adrenaline of innocent Nigerians to go up. Unnecessarily. So these guys deserve to pay. So I will expect the judge to say to make an example of these guys. You don't call a press conference and lie against a court.
Misinterpret a judgment.
They don't know. You see, when people say misinterpret, it's a different thing.
Blatant.
This one was not contained in the judgment, so it's a blatant lie.
Is it not the fault of the media?
They didn't understand what?
They didn't understand don't you think the press people, the journalists who attended that press conference, they should have demanded for a copy of the judgment? Is it not a flaw on the side of members of the media?
But you see, we journalists, with due respect, everybody wants to get their story out first. Doing that would have cost them some time, but it would have saved them a lot of embarrassment.
Correct. If those guys were bent on doing their mischief, even if you ask for the certified true copy of the judgment, which in any case doesn't always come out immediately. Yeah, it does. You cover the court. Yes. You know that it doesn't come out immediately. If they had asked for it, they would have found a story to tell those guys because they knew what they were doing. They just wanted, look, this
wanted to mislead the media.
This funny party now decided to schedule its primaries for 26 and 27. When election will take place on 28. So what kind of game is
that? Is that not a club of clowns? Is that
my take here is that I want to buy that idea that it's not part of conspiracy theory. Before APC was registered, there are many attempts by some forces, you know, to register parties.
Who are the forces?
I mean, you know, we all know them.
Okay, no, it's a conspiracy theorist.
So came up with these sort of funny names.
Even INEC didn't want to register APC
initially. So what is going on now should be read within that contest. And at the same time, when these people were raising that bill, somebody called me, one editor to call me, news editor, when the thing came out. I said, don't believe that story. It's not possible for any judge. I mean, it's not sensibly possible for any judge to rule that these people must be included in the ballot. How?
Overnight.
No, that's not possible. That's.
So I agree with you there. Because
it's even against national interests.
Absolutely. So, but at the same time, the Young Democratic Party, or call the names, is part of the script. You know,
written by
of the enemies of Nigeria.
Those forces.
Yes,
those
forces. To disrupt the smooth running of the democratic process. So I think that's the fact. That is the fact. And thank God that the judge came out and said, no. I don't. And you see, the media too. The media is culpable. If the judge did not release a judgment, how about the registrar? The journalist can approach the registrar.
I think I'll go with what Jide said, that the journalists, we choose the kind of cases that we cover, that we give prominence in.
So we should approach, we go to the registrar, that can I see the judgment?
It's not every time that the registrar will give.
But
look at the case of Babame Mangoro, for example. You know he wanted to appeal his...
Nyanko.
You know, he wanted to appeal immediately. He was impeached. You saw the way they started dribbling him up and down. You see, so it was clear that the papers with which to file that appeal had to be released to him by the chief judge, and the chief judge continued to dribble in, play games. So this is Nigeria. When people want to do negative things, they frustrate you, they make it difficult for you to make a headway. So in this case, what eventually unhinged them was the fact that INEC appealed. INEC appealed to the appeal court in Abuja, and it was at that point that the judge who gave the order.
Gentlemen and lady, I think we have Wale on the line from Ogun State. Hello, good afternoon, Wale.
Good evening, Oba.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thank you very much. You see, I want to lodge a very serious complaint, especially concerning PVC.
Okay.
For most of us in Ogun State, especially Ado-Oduota. When I say Ado-Oduota, I'm talking from the immediately you cross the bridge that links Ayobo with Ogun State. Talking about Ayetoro, Latenwa, Olufade, Afaradija, all that axis till you get to Ota itself, we did not get our PVC. I've been to INEC office more than 5 times. All I could hear at the end of the day was they couldn't find our record. I used my PVC in the last election, and now to collect my PVC has become a problem. Each occasion, at least in a week, I would go to their office from what do you call it? Ado-Oduota local government 2 or 3 times. They said they couldn't trace the record of the whole Iju ward, which we belong to, and we don't know what is happening. It's like there is a deliberate act to differentiate us. Please, help us call the INEC resident whatever. So we say, let him answer. Just like your state man did. Let him answer. Why should we not have our own PVC?
All right, Wale.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You listen to the Book of Lamentation by Wale.
Just to respond quickly.
Okay, you also reside in Ogun State?
Yes. I read a tweet. That one of our viewers, posted that it appears we are falling into the trap that the PDP set, that this looks like a script to criticize INEC. Looks like it's like straight from the PDP script. Of course, this can't be right. We can't watch people in Ogun State. Ogun State, whichever way you look at, is an APC state.
It's three of the 4 most 8 states, the APC states.
So I don't understand how our people reason. We can't leave these people to be disenfranchised. It has nothing to do with PDP or PDP script. Look, you don't know who those people will vote for. It could be, because the way I see this thing, the way the governor is complaining, he knows that the worst it If you've been following Amoson's career right up to, from 2003, because I've been following his career since 2003, all those ways they were talking about are places that I could describe as his areas of strength.
Stronghold.
Yes, of course. Talking about Akute, talking about Adi, all of those places, it's extremely popular in those areas. And those are the areas most affected. Yeah. And you don't want us to talk about it. It's not fair.
Okay. Moving on now, before we go on the show, I want us to quickly look at the situation report, security report coming from Adamawa State, talking about Madagali, which, of course, is the last place held by the Boko Haram terror group. The military has come up with a good news now that the place has been taken over from the terror group. Election is coming, 15 days. That means election will hold in this state.
Before I leave the floor for Jide, who is an expert in that area. You see, my concern is that, yes, thank God that for once our military has woken up and they are performing their duty, their job to the admiration of Nigerians and the national community. And one thing I want to say again is that I will not make a disconnect between the effort of our military and that of the national community, particularly the national force, the contribution of Chad, Niger, and other forces, on ground to help them. I won't do that. But at the same time, we should not forget the allegiance pledged by Boko Haram to ISIS, which ISIS quickly responded to yesterday. And US has said, since you are now making allegiance to ISIS, we have that right to attack you.
Whether Nigeria calls for the help or not.
So we should not overlook that fact.
Yes, yes.
That is a critical element.
Okay, I'll come back to you. Let's take Professor Chukwemeka calling in from Lagos. Prof, good afternoon.
Thank you. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Prof.
Yeah.
Good evening, young lady.
Good evening.
Thank you. And let me say this to Mr. Jide. The situation in Nigeria now is gone beyond conspiracy theory. Better take everything very seriously. There's nothing like conspiracy theory this time around because the ruling party is like a broken record.
Absolutely.
Singing from different mouths. And information are coming from different quarters from their midst. So things happening are things that are coming from them. The information are coming from them. We have friends there. And we know what we tell our friends that they want to use. All of these things are not conspiracy theories. They are real. The media, they are doing well. Everything is working for good. If we did not raise the alarm, if the nation was not overheated by the judgment, I can tell you that the judge will not come up to bring these people back to the court. Very good for us. And I plead to Nigerians to be patient. So many of us, my wife doesn't have a PVC. We traveled out when they asked that she should come and do the re-registration. She wasn't there. So now she doesn't have a PVC. Then it's not the fault of INEC.
All right, Prof.
Of my wife, because she was not aware that she should come back. The same thing applicable to so many people.
All right, Prof. All right, Prof. Thank you very much for that contribution. I caught into you're giving us a short analysis there.
I was saying that we should not overlook the other aspect of this fight against insurgency. The fact that yes, we are winning this war for now, we're taking back our territories, but the larger dimension that is taking, the involvement of ISIS and Al-Qaeda to this whole thing is, to me, very disturbing.
Now, BC, what's your take on this? A piece of good news coming from the military.
Yeah, it's good news. I would like to say that the military has been allowed to do their job. Good. Because it has been allowed in the sense that I mean, if they could have done this in 6 weeks, then what's been happening all along? That's something that Nigerians should look into. What has been happening? Why would they not allow to do this earlier? Why did it take this long? That's the only thing I want to say. Why did it take this long?
Jide, I want to say you are a prof when it comes to the issue of unrest up north there, having spent years there. Now, the military has taken over these communities. But what about the strategies to make sure that these people don't come back? Because everybody keeps saying, okay, we have taken over 15 communities, 13 villages, blah, 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 blah. But nobody is talking about the strategies or is talking about the need for us to really make sure that these people don't come back to invade these lands.
Now, the AU has approved a 10,000-man strong force, you know, for Nigeria's northeast, which means that those communities will be policed when those foreign troops come in, because we know that these guys will not relent. Just as Habib said, you chase them across the border, they will resort to urban warfare that they were doing before, throwing bombs here and there, which could also kill a significant number.
You saw last week in Maiduguri.
Yes, you know. So the vigilance, we have to be vigilant. Yes, it was embarrassing to have them controlling territories and be cutting people's hands, flags. You know, imposing strict Sharia in those communities. It's embarrassing, you know. But now we've kicked them out. As at the last count, we had just one town left to kick them completely out of Yobe State. Just one town. So, and I'm sure that by this weekend they will be kicked out of that town. So that means Yobe, that will make Yobe totally liberated. Adamawa now has been totally liberated. So they are looking at all of their camps are being bombed. Their training camps and all that, they are being destroyed. So it will be difficult for them to put together the kind of the organizational this and logistics that help them to take territories and to harass our people. So, and the Chadians, we have to give credit to them because they came, they gingered our boys. And with the international community praising Chad, Cameroonians have not begun to fight inside Nigeria. Okay. You know, we've not given them, the go-ahead to enter. Yes, okay. They are protecting their own communities. In fact, even Cameroon had to send for Chadian troops. 2,500 to come.
What about these Chadian troops? Do you want to tell us? What about them? Chad is just
yes,
Nigeria, the almighty Nigeria.
No, the reality is military strength and military capability is not always determined by the size of your country. Those guys, if you remember what they did in Mali, the Chadians almost totally defeated the Malian rebels. You know, so they've shown that they are very good in what's it called? Guerrilla warfare, and even desert warfare, because this area is likely desert. So they are very good at it. They are seasoned. They have the experience. They are ready. So that is the thing. If you have exposure, you know, it's what I'm talking about is just like having exposure. You know, so that is the...
All right. Thank you, Jide. Habib, one last word from you. PVC collection, security, good news coming from the north.
My last word is that
and Young Democratic Party, don't forget that.
You know, I don't think it's their fault. They are doing their best, to my own understanding, but there's always room for improvement. Then Nigeria should also not, as I said, overlook this new threat, the alliance between ISIS and Boko Haram.
All right, thank you. BC,
I need to gear up and make sure that everybody who wants to get a PVC,
including you,
including especially me, especially me. Then on
the Young Democratic Party people.
I don't really think that those people are serious.
But we shouldn't give them
it's not
a club of clowns.
Absolutely.
Enemies of Nigeria.
Jide, before we let
enemies of Nigeria, and they should be treated. I want to use this forum to urge the judge to visit maximum punishment on these guys who have really done badly, this Young Democratic Party. Then for INEC should do its best for my people in Ogun State and our people in Oyo State and other places where people are yearning to vote. Yeah, they want to be part of the change. So give them their PVC.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen and a lady. It's my pleasure to have you on the show this evening. And that's it on our program today. Join us again next week as we continue to count down every day to the forthcoming general elections in Nigeria. My name is Oba Ade. Good evening.